Hi and welcome to my channel. So earlier I did a video of the plants in the greenhouse. Sort of now we're coming into sort of mid-September. So the temperature is chilling down a bit, the nights are drawing in, we're getting a lot more windy and wet weather. The lovely summer sun is now definitely over, so a lot of the Sarracenias are still enjoying the weather. They've got nice and wet, but maybe getting a little bit battered now with the wind. So I just thought I'd show you what I got outside. So it's pretty much exclusively Sarracenias outside, and these are basically the overflows of what doesn't fit in my greenhouse. So these two trays here are some seedlings of various crosses I did. Let's see, these were these ones at the front are Aureophila crossed with Purpurea, and these were done I think 2 years ago. Now they were really quite small at the beginning of the year. They were really quite tiny traps, and then all of a sudden they've produced some really nice traps, and they've got some lovely sort of Purpurea colouring in here. I think it's going to look really nice, but they're a little bit taller than normal Purpurea, actually having the Aureophila in there, so they're looking really good. Behind those we've got a variety of little ones. So we've got some Purpureas here which have been crossed with I think Joanna Bullock, which is a Murray. These little Purpureas here are just straight Purpurea. I always have quite a fondness for Purpurea. We've got a few here which are Aureophila crosses with Leucophila. These are still quite small, so it's a bit difficult to tell at this stage what they're going to look like, but they've got some nice veining in the throat there, and they've got sort of Leuco style lids, but not quite as dramatically stark as Leuco with her red and white or green and white veining. So I think they could be quite nice. We got some green Purpureas, some more green ones, anthracene free. They're sort of slowly coming along. And then we've got a few others, so we've got some Mori crossed with Kimber Red. Some other ones here, I can't read all the names, the labels of these ones. I think some of the ones back here are, these are Mori Joanna Bullock crossed with Leuco Red Tube, Flavratio Purpurea. So again, they could be really quite interesting. So yeah, those are seedlings from either 2 years ago or last year. They're actually doing pretty well. I'm really quite impressed with the size of some of those ones. This is a general tray of seedlings of various vintages. Some are still very small. I mean, some of these I've had for years and they've just taken so long to get this stage. I think that one is a Cupra rubicorpora flavacross. Oh, just found a green foil there. Let's get rid of those. And there's a minor there and a few others. I think this is one of my Leucophila crossed with Flavolata Redlid. So she's got nice sort of Leuco lid there, but a quite nice red throat. So the wind is picking up here. Hopefully that isn't going to impact the audio. Next tray is mostly got Flavolata Redlids in. So these are her later season ones. They're nothing like as dramatically red in the throat as the early season ones. So there we go. There's one from earlier, which is now sort of showing its sort of age, and this is because they basically fed so much. They are absolutely full of flies. The summer's been brilliant for them. But yeah, these later ones, they're nothing like as well veined or dark in the throat, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. I think that has been eaten by a caterpillar. I've got a few caterpillars on the hunt in here somewhere. Some other older red lids there. So yeah, there's a tray and a bit of those. We've got some old Moris here. Some of the earlier traps are now sort of dead at the top because again they've eaten too much and they've given themselves nitrogen burn. But these are now coming out with some new sort of autumn traps and some more there that aren't quite open yet. and even some flower-blighted redlid ones are coming up with some new ones. So they're actually doing really nicely, and these ones do, interestingly, they darken up really nicely outside. They're much more stark contrast between the sort of green veining and the white. So they do seem to like it outside. Then we got another tray of old ones. There's possibly some Catesbii crosses at the back there, and some more Morris. And more towards the front, we've got some of the quite large collection of Geothatic Sopas I've got. I really like this one. Again, Geothatic Sopa is putting some lovely autumn traps up. If anything, more impressive than our earlier summer ones. And again, these have done really, really well. Some of these are absolutely huge. I mean, this is one of the earlier ones, which is looking a bit worse for wear now. But then again, you know, she's absolutely full of actually water from the rain we've had. And also moths. They do seem to like the moths. There's a nice big tall one there. Again, then we've got a few more Leucos in here, a few more Morris, and a few more, not Leucos, sorry, Geothatic Sopas. A few more Geothatic Sopas in here, the odd minor scattered around. A few more flower-blighted redlids. That one's still got some nice red in there. And again, some more old Morris. And again, the theme sort of continues. We've got some more Morris in here. Again, possibly some flower-blighted redlids, but they just don't show quite as flamboyantly in their later traps. Some on there. And then there's some Morris in here, some old Morris. Again, more of my old Morris. Some of them darkening up really nicely from earlier. Some of these ones at the back will be Geothatic Sopa. That's Joanna Bullock. So that's Joanna Bullock, but that's quite an old one. You can see a bit more of the colouring of what Joanna Bullock looks like on that one at the back. So she's got a beautiful purple throat. We've got a couple of Leucophilas or Leucophilas nestling in here. There's a really, really nice one. Still quite, I mean, it's quite a delicate one I've got here, but the colouring and the stark contrast between the red and the white is really beautiful. She's again producing some nice traps now, although this particular variety I've got is very dainty. She doesn't get very big. But you can see here, I mean, look at that. I mean, that moth is not even making a decent attempt to be eaten by that plant. It's actually stuck halfway out of it still. I did see an interesting thing from California Carnivores where there's some sort of, not quite speculation, but thoughts that the reason why Leucophila produces really big late season traps is actually to catch the moths as you come into the periods where you've got the really bright sort of autumn moons, and you know the autumn moonlight will shine off the traps and attract the moths. Well, it's certainly working on that one. And we've got a few more here, a variety of ones here, and again we've got a caterpillar problem in here somewhere. And a lot of these are looking a bit tatty now, so a lot of the earlier ones, this will be a flower cross, probably Rubicorpora, is looking very tatty. You know, they've, in fact, there we go. There is the culprit for the holes in my pitcher plants. Right, we'll lever you off that. Get rid of you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so as I was saying, a lot of the earlier ones are looking really tatty now. They're dying back, and some of these will not. Some of the early season flower crosses are not going to produce new pitchers now. They will probably start to produce more phyllodia, non-carnivorous leaves. Look at that. That's one that's been completely eaten off by that caterpillar. Right. We've got a nice little Stavensi there. I can never remember the cross that Stavensi's from. And again, a few more, a lot of Morris. I've got a lot of those old ones. This is an interesting one. This is actually a regression of Geothatic Sopa. So I think one year I decided to cross Geothatic Sopa with itself and sow the seeds. And I got this, which is basically a Geothatic Sopa without the pink in it. Again, some nice moris. And these look, I mean, these almost look sort of Leuco-like, but it's definitely a mori. It's very nice. What else we got? So we got, I think, an elata there. I've got more elatas just over to the right. And then we've got a whole big tray of more Githatisopas. And these are really, really nice. I mean, some lovely earlier traps there with their dark colouring. And then we've got the newer ones that have come out, within the last sort of week and a half, 2 weeks, looking really, really beautiful and attracting lots and lots of moths and flies. And then we've got a whole tray of mostly elatas. So these are just elata. Nothing particularly special. It's got some nice, quite nice veining. Mostly green, but with some nice veining. She's producing some new pictures as well now, and a nice early one there. And then finally is my woefully neglected set of rubras, which I really need to pot up. Again, this is Rubra golfensis. If you've seen my videos before, I do have a particular fancy for this one. It's really, really pretty. She's got really nice. Let's find one I can actually see. She's got really lovely veining on the inside of the traps there. She produces very delicate little traps. I mean, not much wider than my finger, but they do keep their beauty all the way through the winter. A few will die back, but the vast majority of the traps will stay all the way till sort of spring and early summer, and then they start to die back. And again, we've got a few sort of late season autumn ones coming here, which are going to be really nice. And like I say, they will see all the way through till sort of autumn, really. So there you go. That's sort of a quickish tour of what I've got outside. Lots and lots of Sarracenias. So yeah, and like I say, a lot of these are now a little bit going over. They're definitely showing signs of overeating, and now as we're getting the more wet, windy weather, definitely sort of the impact of the wind unfortunately is breaking a few of these off, and sometimes when they get a lot of water in them, they just become so top heavy they just snap over. But yeah, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, do give this video a thumbs up and a like, and yeah, subscribe to my channel. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to see a bit more of, do leave a comment in the description below, or below the description. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.